Right, now we are getting down to it. Right, right. Let's receive from Oakham Town Partnership. This is to do with the presentation. Stan, you're staying in the room, but you're going to not vote and you're going to abstain from any comments. Right, thank you. Okay, I don't know. I'll leave this open for you guys to give me any comments you want to make. To consider and to decide whether the town council want to give £12,000 basically to the town centre partnership for the funding of the town centre manager. That's the crunch of it, isn't it? Were you convinced? Is the question. Shoot.
Even though through the presentation, they did say what the town centre manager was organising events, although a lot of events have been organised by other people, and to my mind, she was just jollying along. I would have liked a bit more information as to a bit more proof into where it was going, because as it stands at the minute, it's not going anywhere. Because I mean, they did say that it was going to be self-funding, but didn't say how it was going to be self-funding, and I don't see how somebody organising an event, unless they're going to charge that person or people or whatever, I don't see how it's going to be self-funding. And I just think, I've got one way or another, I just really prolonging the inevitable. I feel if they had said, well, if we could support it for another year, by then we will have got this and this in place. I could have gone with that. I'm just a little bit.
I can give a little bit of light on funding from the point of view of the self-funding. Is that when they did the late night shopping event in December 2016, they reported in their accounts that it cost X amount of thousand, and they got income because they charged the stall holders, and they actually made a surplus, apparent surplus of just over £300. So. That's what. No, that sounds flippant, but no. So it has been demonstrated there that they can, by doing it, and the farmers market, which was not in the ballpark on this, which the Oakham Town Partnership did really well. I would go as far as say that Dr. Rob Guthrie does very well on that. What a top expert volunteer when it comes to motivating and driving a mission through to success. But as a volunteer, that is the Oakham Town Partnership's main income, I think, and that's what does by a volunteer. So that tends to, I'm sort of saying how brilliant they are at raising money, but they've raised more money with their volunteer than they have with a 12,000 contractor. So I'll just shot them in the foot. Michael.
Interesting points that we heard what Karen was doing. Wasn't from mind at the time. It's very similar to what the promotions working group is doing with the council, and for nothing. I wonder whether Oakham Town, it's not for us to say that, but what's in my mind is that if we can do it on a voluntary basis very successfully, which they've acknowledged we do very successfully, I wonder if they can't do the same as all other organisations do locally and do it for.
Well, even to be fair to, I know Sally Ann's been running the PPWG, but Finch was running it last year and was doing it on a cost neutral basis, wasn't he? In other words, he was getting fares in.
An example of the Negative Plan Steering Group, which is currently for nothing, saved the community several £1,000s by hand delivering all of the surveys, and is now saving at least £9,000 by uploading all the stuff onto the internet. I just galls me a little bit that a lot of people do things voluntarily in the community. I wonder why.
Peter?
Yes, firstly, apologies, I couldn't attend the presentations, but I read the letter. I was on the Oakham Town Partnership, and I must say I'm not convinced about town managers in small towns. However, I do feel we've got a moral obligation, because it is a partnership, we should try and move together. But I'm not sure about the sums. I think we should put a toe in the water, as I say, a moral issue, because it is mentioned. However, with my finance hat on, we have budgets, and we haven't put any figure on this, and we've sort of semi-ring fenced the 62,000 in the kitty. So it is now part of the reserves. So what I'm really proposing is a lesser figure, and then try and work together and see if it is self-funding, or if we feel plenty is coming out of this to perhaps do more in the future.
Okay,
I haven't finished one on.
I'm sorry.
No, that was my fault. I
was going to go on to say that, however, we, under the agreements with the developers and county council, we do have an obligation to make a contribution. Whatever size the council decides, we must make a contribution towards this cost.
We did. I do apologise, Michael.
Martin, I'm going to dispute that last comment because
no, he has finished.
We don't have an obligation because it doesn't actually specifically say we should. This council also voted not to support it at the last, literally 2 months ago.
It was 30 grand.
And I think without getting into, we're hoping to move forward with the partnership in the new fiscal year, as it's called. We know the details of how this went on and how we've come to this, but the council had no input in this officially. And I think that it should be sent away again of saying no, because the position, I did some rough sums. I know from the minutes that when the late night shopping, which happened to be the last person who is also now contracted, £2,000 was paid. There's 2 other events which I doubt if they would have paid £2,000 for that were organised. Maybe they would have paid about 1,000.
Yeah.
So there would have been, if they hadn't employed this person, there would not have been anywhere near the expense that they occurred currently if they were paying per event. It's not our fault if they're going to run out of money. My view of the partnership as it currently stands is that it isn't a partnership. It doesn't actually do what a partnership is supposed to do for the business community.
Right, let's try and keep it more,
It's being run as an events organiser, and that's not what a partnership is. And as we were not asked in any form to officially support this until the very last minute of interviews, I don't think we should contribute in any way and stick with our resolution we made in February.
Thank you. I've not really said much on this, I know, but I mean, not too much. I echo a little bit of what Peter said, and I think the partnership thing, I think, Martin, you are right, that the Oakham Town Partnership have not always hit the bullseye here, but they are trying, and like Oakham Town Council haven't always hit the bullseye, but we've been trying. Our PPWG is getting off the ground, and there are other organisations in the town that are doing things, and we want to make sure that things do continue to happen. So I would probably not go the full amount, but I would certainly support a lesser amount. You were going to add something to that, I know. You're going to come back and you're going to make a proposal. Does anybody else want to make any comments, or we're going to get, before we go to the proposal?
Well, we have something in the proposal that says that this is the last time. They can't come back in 6 months' time and ask us for a bit more.
Michael, over to you. Thank you, Daniel.
I'm proposing that we make a one-off grant of £6,000, which I think gives them enough to carry on for another 6 months to prove what they're doing, and then they can.
I'd like to second that. Sorry.
Okay, so Michael Haley has proposed £6,000 as a one-off payment, and that's been seconded by Peter Rind. So looking for a vote on that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 abstention, and again, so 1 abstention, 1 against. So that's carried or resolved that £6,000 will go to the town partnership for the. Yeah.
Can I just ask, Chair, when the resolution that we passed earlier in the meeting not to rescind previous decisions of the council for 6 months, When does that start?
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I raised this with the chairman and he promised me that he would get advice on that, because that means basically that the people who were co-opted at the last meeting shouldn't have been put on to the meeting if a decision made by the council is not effective until the next meeting. So that was my opinion on that. But if we had received, I'd forgotten that. Actually.
No, I know.
If we are saying that things shouldn't come back for 6 months, my view was, as I said to you, that the next 2 items should not have been considered.
No, let me. I was being a little bit
without us revoking it again.
No, let me be less flippant. We had an item where we were bringing in the 6-month rule, but after that we've already had items on the agenda. So we discussed the items on the agenda. So we're already there, aren't we? Really? So yeah. Otherwise we would have. Your decision. We should have swapped it around.
We would have revoked it. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. So in theory, it would ordinarily it'd be from the next meeting. When we immediately co-opt somebody, we suspend the meeting, we get them to sign, and yeah, they join straight in. So.
Well, that was just an example.
I think when it was looked at from the, there was a question put to the LRLAC, and they said it was a bit of a chicken and egg syndrome almost. Right, item 18 is Oakham Town Partnership 2. This is to authorise a payment of £1,000. This is a retrospective payment. This is the 2016 Christmas Town Centre light switch on event. We initially rejected this because we had no evidence to see where the money had gone. Oakham Town Partnership, now they've got their invoices in to evidence where the money had gone, have asked us if we will help them pay and give the £1,000. That's it, really. David? Oh, yeah, you happy with that? Anybody got any objection? No?
I had an objection because we did vote not to, and I don't remember being so specific in the reason, but forgive me if I'm wrong.
Because we didn't know whether we're spending it.
But there is over £1,000 worth of invoices here, and one of them is something that the council resolved that they would not pay because the partnership wouldn't give us facts and figures, and that is the transport. Right. So what are we actually paying for? You know, to just be presented with over, what was it, 2,000? I can't remember what it was, £366 worth of invoices.
Well, we can do a caveat that we will give them the £1,000, but it goes on everything but transport.
But they're putting all these invoices, again, to me, it's not clear what we're sponsoring. And that's what we need to sort out as a council. We just don't hand over money in future.
Well, there's Johnson Housing, which appears to be for advertising. There's whatever that is. That's an invoice for hire of a walkie-talkie. Yeah, Michael, come back while I'm looking at these.
Yeah, we did. When we rejected what the £1,000 project, the last meeting we said we would not pay it until we received receipts from them. We've now received the receipts.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember anything about that. Okay, I know your comment, but is a proposal on the table from David that we authorise the £1,000, seconded by Michael. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 abstention. 1 against. Right. Okay, so it's still resolved. We get paid £1,000 for the late night shopping 2016. If they want money for this year, then they will submit a. Right, item 19 is revision of the financial regulations to consider a report from the FWG. Do you want to take this, Michael? Has everybody read this? Has anybody got any questions, or do you want Michael to speak? No? Right, okay, Martin.
Sorry again. This is another thing. I have checked. Unfortunately, I don't know what I did with my password, but we are a member of now. Our financial regulations are based on a national document. I see this again as MEDI.
MEDI?
Yes. Yes, certainly meddling when we want to change wording
Oh, right.
of where we're required to go out as councillors and officers to get value for money for our residents, and that it's the officer's job to check that normally it's 3 quotes. I'm trying to remember the wording off my head. To actually then change, which is recognised, I'm not sure if the financial regulations, because it's not marked the same as the code of conduct model, if we are changing a regulation that we can't change, i.e. the black, grey, the traffic light system. When I Google the regulation we want to change to give the impression that this council doesn't actually really want to go out and get quotes and things, every council in the land has that regulation that's on the, but we can Google it now if you want. To actually say that the clerk and the assistant will strive, it sounds a bit sloppy. So, and also I would like to get to the situation where, again, we're not bringing it in changing when the councillor says you should do this. So we just change the regulation. It's happening too much. Just because somebody's gone away and said, yeah, he's right, we should have got quotes. Nobody should be sitting in the meeting saying, let's get on with it, don't get quotes, as we said at the last meeting. So I would like this deferred, and I'd like the finance working group to get hold of the model financial regulations from now and start from the beginning, and in the new year when we're supposed to review it, have a proper set of financial regulations like every other council. And I can hear the huffing. We want to move on and be a proper council, not having these regulations changed to make the rules up as we go along. So I can't support that.
Do you want to go first or do you want to
First of all, I refute what Councillor Brooks has said. We are required to review the financial regulations, which were last reviewed in January 2016. They were reviewed, the regulations were reviewed recently by the finance working group appointed by this council. I won't accept that it is meddling. The things as far as the footnotes go, that is a change of law, that we had to change that, whether we like it or not. Removing the duplication was where there was a grammatical mistake, which we've changed. Going on to the meaty bit of it, so we have reviewed all the regulations. I would just say that there is no model financial regulation we have to abide by. And I'll also add that the internal auditor is happy with our regulations because he does go through them, and he went through them again quite when he came to his go. I've got the floor, Martin, thank you.
If you can't speak again by name.
Secondly, we put the word striving because sometimes it is not possible to get 3 quotations because there are not 3 contractors either available or are willing to provide a quotation. If we didn't put that in, it would then mean we'd be moribund. We couldn't get essential work done because we can't get 3 quotations for it. To use the word strive to obtain quotations, that is quite a common statement in a financial regulation. And the last one, we put this in about allowances just to make it, the allowances non-taxable, to make it quite clear. A sum is only taxable at source if council is employing that person. For instance, Malcolm's salary, Alison's salary are taxed at source because council employs them. An allowance, which is paid to the chairman or an expense that's paid to somebody, it is they are not employed, therefore it is their responsibility if they need to declare that for income tax. It has nothing to do with council. But we put that one in purely because there's been some debate on this in the past. So just to reiterate, we have reviewed the financial regulations as is required to our standing orders. They're the recommendations.
Chairman, I've only spoke on that one about...
David's next, anyway.
I know, but I wanted to continue with that last point. And the reason why I'm asking for it to be reviewed is because we are confusing whether we are paying an allowance or whether we are paying expenses. And the budget. No, we are confusing it because the payment that was made to our chairman did not comply with that financial regulation. That's why it needs to be reviewed. It says quite clearly that every month receipts must be produced for an allowance, which are expenses. So it is confused. But this year, the chairman, sorry to say it, was paid in a lump sum, which contravenes our financial regulations.
No.
It does.
Right,
If it says
Martin,
in
you've
black
made the
and
point
white,
twice. What it is that you've raised this point several times in emails to the clerks, and they've responded and told you that this is incorrect. If you
No, they've
believe,
not responded to me.
right, all right. Well, I believe that they have, but if you believe this is wrong, then you need to go and challenge it somewhere else, because the council has already given answers. It's been given by the clerk, it's been given by the finance working group. They keep giving the same answer. You keep asking the same question, they're giving the same answer.
Chairman, am I stupid then? When it says that you must claim every month with receipts, it doesn't say the chairman is paid £1,000 at the beginning of his term, and that is what happened, and that is a breach of the financial regulation.
Right, let me.
That's what I'm saying, that we are not following those regulations.
Thank you. David wanted to say something.
Well, really, I'll say to Michael that, you know, most regular finance regulations do say you need to try and get 3 quotes. Doesn't mean you can get 3 quotes. And as for allowances, I know we have paid allowances. When I was on my two of my former roles, I could claim allowances, and yes, when you're getting an attendance allowance and a meal allowance, travel allowance, you must claim monthly. If when I was mayor at Sleaford, we had a lump sum. Once you spent it, and I only covered one event and paid the rest myself. As long as you know you've had it, and the council know you've had it.
From my understanding is anyway, is that if money is given, you're not going to be allowed to again, so don't try. If the chairman is given a lump sum of money like he was done this year or last year now, it's actually up to the chairman to declare it to the HMRC. Or in the case of what I interpreted it as, I'd incurred some expenditure in my role as the chairman, and I can evidence that. And I've already told Martin on email that all receipts would be coming back. I've been told by the financial working group and the clerk I don't have to do it. But I've already said to Martin and everybody else, I will be bringing in full disclosure and expenditure with receipts dated of where £1,000 has gone. It's actually more than £1,000. I've been told I don't have to do it, but I'm doing it because that's the way I operate. And even by doing it, I've been told that I'm not acting transparently, that I'm actually hiding something because I've offered other information. So it doesn't matter what I do anyway, I'm in the wrong. So let's focus on it. Council approves the changes. Can somebody propose? Proposed by Richard that the council approve the financial regulations as secondly applied. David, all those in favour? 7 and 1 against, 1 abstention.
Okay.
Right, okay. So that's all carried. Is that all of the? Yeah, I'm not going to ask you more questions on that. Item 20 is a hue and cry, the High Sheriff's Hue and Cry event, Appendix N. This is where Sally Ann and myself met with the High Sheriff in waiting. He's doing a hue and cry event this year in line with what previous High Sheriff had done. Basically, it's all written down there, just any comments or observations on the paper? Otherwise, we'll be looking that council A approves to loan the equipment and also possibly cover some expenditure in advertising, maybe some water, etc. Oh, they don't have to. Just need to.
Query. I think this happened last year. Did we take part, or is?
No, we did nothing last year. Dr. Finesse did a sterling job on her own. It was an initiative she launched and she cracked on with it and did brilliant. And the new High Sheriff in waiting wants to do the same, and he approached the town council, approached Sally Ann, approached myself. So, Michael?
Yeah, I think this is an event we should support. It does market the town very well. I think it would be wrong for us not to support it. I don't think that's a big contribution to make to an event of this magnitude.
Well, it puts you on the map. Martin?
My question is, what budget is it coming from? Because it's in this year's.
Yes, it is.
We're already over budget on many things. And also, why are we being asked to finance something that the High Sheriff has financed before? I don't know where they get their finances
They're self-funding.
So why are they coming to us and asking us to fund it? And also there's the issue that the high street doesn't get opened until June, according to those times. So it's an event I'm happy to see, but I'm a bit concerned that we're being asked to contribute £532.82 to this event when it's not really our event and never been asked before. So I can't support the financial aspect.
It's only the second time that it's been run. The first time the high sheriffs do self-fund, so it comes out of their own pockets. When they approached us, one of the reasons they approached us is because, in actual fact, a past councillor from this council had actually gone to the, unbeknown, I didn't know about this, but they'd gone to the high sheriff and promised the earth. And then there was concern that this person wouldn't be able to deliver. And there were some question marks raised. Because we were slightly caught out, because we weren't aware of this, were we, Sally Ann? And we sort of said, well, we're unaware of this, we'd have to get it green lighted by council, because I don't think anybody here knew what had been offered. And there was even more being offered. There was offering £1,000 worth of sound equipment and all sorts, and none of that had been budgeted. So we raked it back a little bit. I actually offered, to be honest, and sort of said, look, we can't do that. We'd have to get the council to agree, which is why we've done the paper, we're doing it the right way. And maybe we want to promote the town. Part of the role of the Oakham Town Council is to promote the town. And maybe we could help you promote it, because I know you're self-funding. That's the way that the sort of conversation went. So the High Sheriff hasn't come saying, please give me some money. He's come to sort of saying, one of your councillors said they were going to do this. I don't know what's happening now because they can't get hold of them. And we teased it all out, and we sort of said, look, we want to support you. You do great work, we do great work. And if the council agree, maybe we can extract some money from our reserves in answer to the other question. We can't, it's already budgeted, so we'd have to put it out of reserves, wouldn't we? And we, to a certain extent, if it's promoting the town, it could even come out at 62.5k. So anyway, so that answers it. So any other questions? Otherwise, looking for anybody that wants to propose. Michael's proposing that the paper is accepted in its entirety. It's been seconded by Sally Ann. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are you abstaining, Martin? Or are you against? Vote against. Right, item 21 is another exempt item now, so the members of the public get an opportunity to leave. Okay, what it is, we're discussing a staffing item is our last item, item 22. So 21 is decide whether to exclude press and public. So proposal by Michael Haley, seconded by David Romney. All those in favour? So thank you, so that's unanimous. So press and public, or no, public, thank you very much for attending. This is better than when